Became another problem. Let's see. I don't know. Here we go. Hello. Man, that was really weird. Very weird. Anyways, hello and how are you? Greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin and Colin. Hello, Gene. I am doing well. Hope you're doing well. Huh. All right. Well, let's get into it because we're all here. Yes, a people. We're all here right now. Everything seems to be moving just a little bit slow. So bear with me. Bear with me. Everything is moving very slow. All right. This is from Steven Donziger. You guys know who Steven Donziger is? The lawyer that was sentenced to house arrest by the good folks at Chevron, or Exxon, I guess it was. What the heck is going on? It's so weird because I don't know what is happening. No, don't want that. This, no. Hello. I have no idea what's going on. Anyways, my background seems to be gone. That was just so bizarre. Just trying to complicate things for no apparent reason. These tech companies. They all give you these features and then but make them like incredibly complicated to use. It frustrates me. Anyway, Steven Donziger wrote an article in The Guardian, said make ecocide an international crime and other legal ideas to help save the planet. I'm chuckling because I don't know if legal ideas are going to save the planet. I don't know if legal ideas are going to save the planet. It would be nice if they did. It would be cool. it would be cool. Um, I just don't think legal. I mean, who knows? People are trying any and all means. I know Will Falk is a lawyer, an environmental lawyer, and he does his very best through the legal system. Maybe. Anyways, let's look at this for a moment. I mean, I'm not against these ideas. I'm not opposed to them. The world has reached an acute point in the highway to climate hell. Talks at COP27 barely achieved anything, despite the fact that almost one-third of Pakistan's territory was submerged during unprecedented flooding. Record heat over the summer killed nearly 25,000 in Europe, and almost 200,000 people in a major U.S. city have not had clean water for months. It's all too easy to feel overwhelmed and helpless in the face of such widespread catastrophe. But we as citizens can do something right now. There are many interesting and entirely workable legal ideas percolating around the world from some very thoughtful people. Together, alongside increased citizen activism. Well, at least he included citizen activism. I'm going to say that the citizen activism is going to be the deciding factor in whether these legal challenges or precedents have any, right? Because if there isn't a vocal community of people talking about this or bandying about the ideas, you know, absolutely insisting that this should be a concern, the courts are probably going to be like, moving on. Here are 5 key legal steps I believe could fundamentally put the trajectory of our planet on a more positive footing. I'm going to kind of do this a little quickly. Make ecocide an international crime. This is, you know, I like this idea. I'm all for it. But what does it mean? What does ecocide mean and who's guilty of it? What does ecocide mean and who's guilty of it? Those are my questions. Ecocide needs to be designated as the world's 5th atrocity crime with the same moral power and legal impact as genocide and crimes against humanity. Well, are there a lot of people that are held responsible for crimes against humanity or genocide? You see anybody going to jail for genocide or crimes against humanity? Do you see that happening? So I don't know that adding ecocide to the list is going to actually mean... I don't know that it's going to mean anything to anybody. I want accountability. I want, you know, businesses to fail and people to go to jail. I want entire industrial sectors to be wiped out and taxed or fines levied, you know, levied so that these things go out of existence. That's what I want. But I don't know that designating ecocide is going to actually make that happen. Anyways, it has been defined by an international panel of jurists led by Philip Sands as an unlawful or wanton act with the knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment being caused by those acts. I'm going to move on from this, but the other thing I want to say about that is that who's guilty of ecocide? I mean, I can't think of an industry, I can't think of a business, I can't think of a company or corporation that doesn't do some damage to the planet. I'm sure there are some, and I'm sure people will point out, what about these people? They're not doing anything. Or they're not doing a lot of damage to the planet. Maybe, but somewhere in the pipeline, somewhere in the running of your business, probably, you know, any business anywhere is doing damage to the planet. So, you know, how are you going to apply this law to particular corporations or people? I see this, actually, I see this as just silly. This is just silly. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, ecocide, okay. I mean, yes, we know we're doing ecocide. We are doing ecocide. The entire industrial civilization is doing ecocide. We are doing ecocide. But, saying like, let's make ecocide a thing, and then who's going to be guilty of ecocide? Then you're like, okay, okay, right? Fossil fuels, guilty of ecocide, okay. So you're going to shut them down, put them out of business? Well, that would actually rearrange the entire way in which we conduct ourselves on the planet. Again, the thinking, people don't think. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when people don't connect the dots on things. Really intelligent people, lawyers and doctors and scientists and politicians and leaders, they just refuse to connect the dots on anything. And everything is compartmentalized, and everything is, let's just talk about this one subject over here as if it doesn't actually have any effect on anything else. So, whatever. Actually, I'm feeling a little upset now that I'm talking about this. Who cares? Stephen Donziger, good work, holding oil companies, holding their feet to the fire. Good job on that. But I don't care about ecocide. I don't care about it. I don't care about ecocide being a designation. I care about people being held responsible. I care about actual system change. And until everybody is ready to do that, it doesn't really matter. End SLAPP lawsuits and other legal retaliation. SLAPP lawsuits have become the fossil fuel industry's go-to move to silence environmental campaigners, drain resources from advocates, and weaken the climate movement. Yeah, exactly. These lawsuits are fundamentally attacks on free speech, but they come in all sorts of disguises: defamation, nuisance, trespassing, even racketeering. Just frivolous lawsuits. Protect the Amazon headwaters. A quiet legal revolution is being led by indigenous people in Amazon countries of Brazil, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Peru. Called the Amazon Sacred Headwaters Initiative, these frontline earth defenders have proposed a feasible plan to provide international legal protection to what might be the most important ecosystem on Earth. Essentially, this plan would prohibit any further fossil fuel development in the area that comprises the headwaters of the Amazon and contains the planet's greatest concentration of biodiversity. Great. Is this actually going to happen? I feel like it's pushing some papers around a desk. If you're not willing to have conversations about absolutely laying waste to every corporation on the planet, absolutely dismantling, everything that we're doing, it's just pushing things around. Finding climate reparations, blah blah blah. That's also pushing things around. I mean, I'm for the reparations things in theory, but until we're willing, again, Western nations, the developed nations of the world, until they're willing to have conversations about dismantling their entire economic systems, by 80%, then I don't know what do reparations mean? Not much. It's like carbon capture or carbon credits. What does it mean? Not much. We're buying these carbon credits so we can continue polluting over here on this side of the planet. And hopefully by buying these carbon credits, which are being stewarded, these forests or whatever that are being stewarded by people on the other side of the planet, somehow that'll all even out. No. Gene says, here we have a law where a piece of land can be protected for hundreds of years. Ecological protection, no construction, no tree cutting, no damage to water. There are ways to do it. That's awesome that can happen somewhere. You live in the magical land that has no military. So It's cool. It's cool that there are examples of that. I appreciate that. Is the rest of the world willing to look at Costa Rica and say, well, this is how we all should do it? We're going to adopt all these rules, and adopting those rules on a planetary level would mean that it all goes back to dismantling all, most corporate entities. Literally every multinational corporation on the planet has to go. Like, think about that. Think about the enormity of that. But I mean, it could be done if somebody wanted to do it. I mean, literally, the only thing that should be allowed to exist is local farming and, some kind of local, I don't know, I guess local industry to produce things that people need, like basic things that people need. Again, what would the Amish do? It's a really good question. They make their own clothes. They make their own food. They build their own houses. That's about it. That's what gets to exist. Everything else must go. Obsolete Optics says local farming and global nuclear power facility decommissioning. Yeah, literally everything must go. Here, Heroium Slava asks, "Do I have a better solution than carbon credits?" Just what I said. Carbon credits are not a solution. It's a Ponzi. It's a Ponzi scheme. And it's not going to solve any problems. Unfortunately, I wish Amish purchase manufactured textiles. I guess that's what I was thinking when I said that. I was like, where do they make their own clothes, or they purchase it from somewhere? Who manufactures their clothing material? I don't know. Anyways, I thought that would be more of an interesting read, and my apologies to Stephen Donziger, but no, didn't mean to crap on his ideas, but I'm just, Oh, this is a great piece. Vandana Shiva talking about Bill Gates. Let's listen to this.
Is a newcomer. 5 years, 10 years ago, he starts Agra. Bill Gates is a newcomer. 5 years, 10 years ago, he starts Agra. Then he's jumping into this. He's already taken over the WHO and the health system, right? We can either say, oh, Mr. Gates has always been powerful, he's always been around. No, he's an upstart. He's an upstart who's a nobody in the history of the evolution of this planet. He's a nobody in the history of evolution of our cultures. He's a nobody in the history of democracy. And I said it's very wrong that governments, which are meeting for an interstate, intergovernmental gathering, allow him to stand with them. They are giving up their power of representing democratic societies. And they are inviting him to take control. Yeah? No, the issue is, I don't mind the dialogue. I can tell you, because I have critiqued Agra so much, the Alliance for the Green Revolution, and the GMOs, I have so many friends who say, but you should talk to Bill Gates. I said, sure, fix a meeting. Poor guys, 10 years they have spent trying to fix an appointment. I'm not going to wait to fix an appointment with Bill Gates. In my life, soil bacteria is a more significant being on this planet than a Bill Gates. And I'm not going to waste my time seeking an appointment with him.
Yeah.
But if he comes my way, I've spoken at the World Economic Forum in Melbourne. He was there, I was there. He had to come through a helicopter. I walked in. I asked the protesters, I said, they want me to speak inside. If you give me permission, I'll go. If you don't give me permission, I won't. They said, no, for you, we will open up. They let me go. I was there. I won't avoid him, but I won't kill myself trying to meet him.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. I put the video up at the very end. I realized it wasn't on. Let's see. So she's kind of outlining the problem, which is that global capital, multinational corporations and global capital and these billionaires have power and sway over governments and international policy. Right? That's what that means. And that's absolutely wrong, right? North on Colin says we could just nationalize oil and fossil fuel industry so there's no profit motive to pollute. Yeah, that would be the way to go. That's the thing, is I don't see any other way to do this other than governments somehow having some kind of backbone and needs to be most, several large governments on the planet. But maybe we could start small. Maybe we could start with smaller governments. But they need to have some kind of backbone, and they need to say, we are more powerful than these corporations. We're gonna outlaw these corporations from operating in our territory. Or corporations that are in our territory, we are going to nationalize and scatter to the wind, basically. Nationalize the things that are, the things that are absolutely, producing things that are absolutely necessary for the time being. Food, clothing, shelter, heat. Right? Those can continue to operate on a much smaller scale, but everything else has got to go. And I don't see a way to do it unless, China, Russia, US, I'll do it. I'll do that too. Europe, they all have to do it. So, what's that? But she's saying he's insignificant, but he's insignificant. But he's quite significant in his influence on the planet and what we're doing to the planet. I'm going to take a break and check out the coffees. We don't have any coffees as of yet, but this is a good way to support the channel. Buymeacoffee.com /BlackBearNews. /BlackBearNews. Another good way is to Rockfin tips are also very good. Are the Amish building America's RVs? That's crazy too. Yeah, I'm not, I know there's issues with the Amish, I know. Plenty of people we've already had these discussions. Not everything is great and perfect. I'm just saying as a rough idea of how it could be done. Anyways, Rockfin tips are awesome. I don't have any yet as of today. You can follow me on Twitter here on the screen, Black Bear News 1. Black Bear News, the number 1. All right. Mennonites are better than the Amish. I don't know a lot about Mennonites. Do they do some of the same practices? What's up with the Mennonites? Let's move on. The Jet stream is shredded. That's why it's so cold in the States and so warm in the Arctic. Above freezing temperatures are predicted near the North Pole. If you know anything about the North Pole, that's bad. That's bad because it's almost December. Above freezing temperatures are predicted near the North Pole for a few consecutive days around December 1st, with widespread temperatures that are 24°C plus 24°C plus above average. So very anomalously warm temperatures in the Arctic here, pushing all the cold air south. That doesn't mean that climate change doesn't exist because it's cold in your city. That's not what that means. Mennonites are Amish light. Okay. You guys know a lot more about this than I do. Again, when I say Amish, I mean it's a rough approximation of how they live, right? They have there are intricacies to what's going on with the Amish, right? Not all the Amish do the Amish thing, or some of them play a little looser with the rules, you know, etc. And Peter Dines says 75% of the world's the current emissions have occurred in the lifetime of a 65-year-old person, all done through burning hydrocarbons for the energy needed to create the consumer world we now inhabit. The CO2 will be around in the atmosphere for a lot longer. And that's a true story. And there's a lag effect, right? There's a lag of heating from the carbon that's in the atmosphere now. So the idea that we're going to just quickly ramp down carbon emissions and all of a sudden everything is going to go back to normal again, that's also a fallacy. And I believe the powers that be understand that. They know better than to actually believe that's going to happen. All right. This is interesting. KJP, Cringe Jean-Pierre. Somebody called her Cringe Jean-Pierre. That's pretty funny. Snaps at a reporter who's asking Fauci about the origins of COVID, which is a valid question, right? One that many people have asked. Do we really know the answer? We do not, but it's okay to ask a question, isn't it? Or is it? Apparently it's not. Oh crap, where did it go? Where did it go?
But she's only 30 great questions. You ask your question, you should allow her to answer the question. She's asking a valid question, Dr. Fauci, about the origin of COVID-19.
It is not your turn. It is not your turn.
You can't on the same people. That's the thing. You can't read a press briefing. You need to call from people across the room. She has a valid question. She's asked about the origin of COVID-19.
I hear the question.
Dr. Fauci is the best person to answer.
I hear your question, but we're not doing this the way you want it. This is the disrespectful. It is. I'm done. Simon, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you right now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're taking time away from your
Okay. Dear reporters, only ask the questions that we approve of, or you will be shut down. Heroyam Slava, thanks for your opinion, and you could actually just take a hike, yo. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, asshole. I mean, watch if you want. I don't know. I don't know why you would spend energy watching something you don't want to watch, and then spend the energy to talk shit. So maybe there's, I don't know. Or hang out if you want. I don't really care. But. I know why I have 20 listeners max, because YouTube throttles me, dude. You don't know anything about this channel. You don't know anything about this channel, and you're about 5 seconds from getting blocked. All right? So I don't even want to hear this shit. You're about to piss me off. I'm a tanky? I don't even, whatever. I'm a tanky? I see. This is somebody that thinks they know what they're talking about, and they want to get up here and like, you don't even know what you're talking about, dude. Just get the fuck out of here. Anyways. Nobody wants you here, Slava. Nobody wants you here. Nobody wants you here. So get the fuck out of here. All right. Okay. I'm gonna not flip out. Anyways. It's just amazing to me, though. It's amazing to me that people actually have the energy for that. And, you know, probably most of the people that have energy for that are just paid bots running around talking shit. So, you know, good luck to you, sir, or not. I don't really care. I don't really care. All right. Yeah. At one time on YouTube, I had, I don't know what, 100, 150 people watching me at a time, thousands of views on every video, and then YouTube was like, we don't like this guy, so they throttled the shit out of my channel. That's why there's 20 people. There's actually more people watching than you can actually see right now, because that's what they've done to my channel. I don't really, okay, whatever. All right, let's keep going. My bad for letting somebody get under my skin. But when people start talking about like how I'm talking and what I'm doing on the mic, it's funny to me. Then I know immediately, like, this person is a jerk who is uninterested in anything I'm saying, who's just here, you know, because they find it entertaining, whatever. But, you know. Yeah, Putin, yeah, exactly, Gene. This is all. I don't know if I'm a communist. I've never been a card-carrying communist, but I sure like the ideas. It's okay. I mean, why don't we have better conversations about it? About communal living. But, you know, if you're here rooting for the status quo, that's fine. That's fine. This is interesting. So there's just a lot of censorship going on while we're on the topic. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump off of YouTube. So follow me on Rockfin. Slava, you can come to Rockfin and watch me if you're really having a good time with this. So I'm going to do the rest of the show on Rockfin and talk about a few things. You guys can come over and hang out with me on Rockfin if you like. I'm just not. I'm not down with the whatever. I'm not down with YouTube's suppression, and I'm not down with. Just not down with the heckling today. All right. Okay. Rockfin is free to come hang out and check. You know, you can just come watch the video. Rockfin / Black Bear News. Just come on in.